If you did not already know, TikTok is the fastest growing social media platform in the world right now. It has over 1.5 billion downloads on both the App Store and the Google Play Store. There's over 800 million active users, and just 30 million of those are from the US. It's specifically tailored towards Gen Z, and if I'm being honest, being one of them, it's kind of working. And they don't have any plans of slowing down either. In this episode, we interview 3 young guys who have found their way on the app and have each built substantial followings and influence in the world of faith. They each have different yet similar messages to bring to the world, and their stories were really awesome to learn. These guys are young, just like a lot of us in the Ask Us Why fam, and I think that you will find what they have to share relatable and exciting. With that in mind, I hope you guys find this episode as enjoyable as it was for me, and let's get into it. What's up, podcast world? This is a unique episode. This is not the same as what we usually do because obviously we're not in the lion's den. But I got 3 extremely famous TikTokers in the room, and I'm kind of nervous to talk to them. So I'm just gonna do the best that I can. Guys, if you'd like to introduce yourselves, you can go ahead.
Start with
Me?
you. Go ahead, Zach.
Do I like look at the camera or like?
No, you're just talking with me.
Oh, okay. Well, my name's Zach Webb. What else do I need to say?
Something about you, bro.
I make music and social media content. I guess that's what most people would know me for. Yeah, I make music.
Sick,
That's
man.
what's up.
Sick,
Yeah,
man.
man.
We'll break it down.
I'm Zach Moore, and I
Okay, wait. Are you both Zach with a CH? Or
Yeah.
are you Zach CK? So do you guys go by a different name around the house?
Webb and Moore.
Most people call me like Webby or Webb,
Webb.
and they just call him Zach.
Oh, okay.
or more.
They just call you your name. That's boring. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Kind of lame.
his tone. That's funny.
But yeah, I also make social media content. I'm in love with Jesus, and I love sharing His love with others.
Come on.
I love
I'm
Jesus
from
too.
Here,
Yeah,
pull
you just
the
said
pull
that.
the mic a little bit more towards you so you can rotate it. Yeah, just push that. No, not that way. Do you like the actual mic? There you go. Yeah. Boom.
There we go.
There you go.
Now you can hear
that's
me.
Now
Oh,
you
you're a
hear
lot
it.
clearer. That's better.
Yeah.
But I moved to Phoenix, Arizona with these guys, and we go to Hillsong College now, so
That's what's up.
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so my name is Steve-O from Chicago, just turned 22. Like he said, we go to Hillsong College, pursuing ministry. Super excited to be here.
Dope.
Yes,
Let's go. I hope you guys are excited. You guys said you've done a couple of podcasts before,
Yeah.
but you guys, this is like a first
This
time
is the
for you
first
guys?
for me.
Yeah. Well, so Zach, you do music. Are you using microphones kind of like this? These are dynamic. I don't know if you use more condenser mics for what you do.
No, I literally just
Just
I
the
use-
phone right now?
No, I use a I don't even know what it's called. My dad bought me a mic when I was in like 8th grade,
No way.
and I've never changed since.
That's so
It's
sick.
literally it's a stand, and it's meant to be plugged into like an acoustic amp.
Yeah.
That's all I use.
That's what's up.
So
That's dope.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, you guys' first time kind of doing this structure of a podcast, so I hope it's comfortable for you guys. Yeah, I'd love to just break down what you guys do because TikTok is growing like crazy. And like my first thought usually when I think of TikTok is I think of whatever the newest trend is for dancing. And I think of the weirdest, like the bunny hop one that they did for a
Yeah.
while,
Oh,
like
yeah.
those kinds. Yeah.
so cringy.
I can't do them. I've
That's
tried
his
them,
favorite.
That's your favorite?
That's his favorite.
Yeah, that is.
That's Zach's favorite? Is that how you hop on stage when you're doing an event?
Yeah,
Does that all the time.
Could you imagine, bro?
I'll do it next time.
That's a grand
No,
entrance
no,
for
you won't.
sure.
I will.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will.
You heard it here on the podcast, bro. He's gonna do it. I'm just kidding. No, yeah. Usual like I don't know, perception of TikTok is this weird platform of like young people dancing, funny trends, but it's making a transition where nowadays there's a lot more like organic content that's coming from just different people of different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And so you guys are definitely in a different realm than what is traditional TikTok. So I'd love for each of you guys to just break down, and we'll kind of go one by one, but this is just super fascinating to me. And I'm sure it's fascinating to those that are listening to this as well. It's just like the journey of how you guys got to TikTok, like why you did it, and then what the experience was like getting to where you are now. So I don't know who wants to start. We got Webb. You want to start?
Sure. So my first experience with TikTok was like, oh, this is cringy. I'm not going to dance in front of a screen. Right. And then I met a few people on Christian TikTok because that's like, obviously the analytics, they post more to what you like and what you comment on and stuff. And I was liking a lot of Christian content. And that was like the very beginning of like Christian TikTok, I guess. Yeah. So you could say. But I just met a few friends and they were like, hey, you should like post your like worship covers and like start singing on TikTok. And I was like, no, I don't really know if that's really the place for it. And then one day I just started doing it. And then like, I think I sang Waymaker whenever it was like really popular. Yeah. And that's the video that like blew up. And then people they were like, oh, that's like the worship guy off of TikTok. Yeah. And at the time, there might have been like a few people like doing worship on TikTok. Yeah. But I don't really know who else do you.
Yeah, you were the first I've seen.
And after that, it was just like, oh, like that's Zach Webb. He does worship on TikTok. Yeah. And then that's whenever like the Christian like TikTok community was like birthed, I guess. I don't know. He knows way more about like when it started, but that's how I met everybody that I know.
That's cool.
So
yeah.
So I started back in August 2019, and Christian.
Oh, you started way back.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So this is like there was only like maybe 4 Christian TikTokers.
Dang.
Like it was like a very low amount of people. But my friend Jacob, who's actually moving in with us in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I've known him like all my life. He found Jesus and started like posting videos like what he's learned this week and things like that, and he blew up. And I saw that because we used to always like make content together. And I was like, dude, I want to try that. And this was around the time where I rededicated my life back to Jesus. Yeah. So he blew up, and then like I was like, oh, I want that clout. So I was like, I'm gonna hop on TikTok and start just randomly posting things. And I kind of transitioned into the Christian side of it. Yeah. And as I like did that, I started to realize like it's not about the views and not about like the popularity and stuff like that, you know? Yeah. But I can't be honest, that's why I started.
Oh, totally.
But I just fell in love with sharing Jesus, and more and more people like Zach like started sharing Jesus, and it kind of just like a domino effect of people. Yeah. But yeah, there was only like 4 of us. There was like Atika, Elijah, Grayson Bearden, and me and Jacob, and that's like the only like people that like I know that were on around that time. Yeah. But that's kind of, and then it just popped off, and I think I shared my testimony, and that was like my first viral video, and it was amazing just seeing all the Christians like, oh, I'm on Christian side of TikTok, like this is amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much where I started really early, but it's a great way to reach people. It really is.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I started probably maybe a little after Zach Webb. And I remember I didn't know there was a Christian TikTok. So I remember I was making random videos. Like them, I didn't want to get on TikTok. I remember all my cousins like had TikTok, and they were sending like funny like memes, I guess you could say. And I was like, that's so lame. Like, I'm not getting on TikTok. And then I remember like one day I was probably the most bored I've ever been. So I downloaded TikTok, and I remember like just watching videos, and I ended up making videos because I was that bored. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to post my baptism and see what happens. So I posted my baptism. I think I got maybe like 20K on it. But that caused me to see like other people's videos, like Christian TikTok. I was like, oh, this is a real thing. Like it became real. I thought I was the first, but I wasn't. And so I think the first video I've seen was like him and Jacob's. And I remember that was like the first sound I ever saved and everything. And it's just so crazy how things come full circle. Now I'm living with them. But like, yeah, that's when I found Christian TikTok, and yeah, I think what has it been, like a year, and now we all live together. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, let's jump into that. So you guys meet on a platform. You guys live in 3 different states, and now you guys live in the same house together in Gilbert, Arizona, going to Hillsong College.
Right.
How does that happen?
Zach Webb.
So
The Webster, bro.
So I had been planning on going to Hillsong College in Phoenix or in Sydney, not in Phoenix. So I was already planning. I was gonna leave the country, like before I even really started TikTok at all. And I remember like trying to plan it out. And then whenever I started meeting people and I met Zach and Jacob and a bunch of our friend group and we started traveling together, it became like really real. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to leave the country. Like, I don't know if I want to leave all of this.
Yeah.
Cause I would be over there for like 3 years and then have to come back. And so I just remember one day, first off, the borders were closed. So I couldn't go, but I do remember like making the decision of like, okay, I think maybe USA campus would be a better fit for me.
Yeah.
Closer to all my friends, closer to my family. And then I remember there was like one week where we had an event. I think it was the Ohio event. And we came back to the hotel and we were just like praying and like seeking guidance from the Lord. And we like started thinking about, okay, well, you know, if I'm going to college in Phoenix, maybe we can start something in Phoenix and start like doing stuff for the Praise House in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And we can get like an actual like Praise House, like with everybody in it.
Yeah.
But that didn't really work out. People started obviously doing their own thing in school and everything. There's just a lot of things that were in the way of that. And everybody's really young. So like we still have lots to like grow and like do. But then I asked him, I was like, hey man, like I'm going to check out Hillsong Phoenix. Do you want to just come with me? And then after that, you guess you can kind of pick up right there.
Yeah. So I remember, I think we were in Houston, or it might have been still in the Ohio trip. He was like, dude, what if you just came to Hillsong College with me? I was like, there ain't no way I'm going to college. Like, that's the last thing I want to do. I hated high school with a passion. I was so glad to be out. Like, I didn't want to do that. But I started thinking about it, started praying about it. Yeah. And like, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to try this out. I found out there was no math, so that's good. But that was one big thing. I knew like after praying about it, I knew this is like where the Lord wanted me. And like he wanted me to like progress in my faith and my leadership and things like that. But he invited me to preview day in October in 2020. So we flew out to preview day, and as soon as I stepped foot, I was like, I knew that's where I was supposed to be.
It's kind of a day for like all the people who are interested or thinking about Hillsong College. Okay, they come together and they give you like a campus tour.
Gotcha. Yep. Makes sense.
So I stepped in. It was a chapel, and they were singing worship and things like that, and like the community was just like it blew my mind. So packed up everything in December and drove here in January and moved in with him.
Now, okay, you are from Louisiana?
Louisiana.
So that was how long of a drive for you?
20 hours.
Jeez. I just got back from a road trip all the way up to Minnesota and then flew back. Oh my God. So that's I feel your pain on that one. Yeah. That's a lot. And you drove by yourself?
Yeah.
Oof. Did you stop at all, or did you just dead straight shot?
Oh wait.
Well, we all drove to get. Me and my dad drove in my car.
Yeah. Okay.
And he just kind of followed us.
Yeah. So
that's what's up.
We got a hotel. I think it took us 3 days.
That's cool.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I moved here and started college, and then he moved in a month later. So
nice.
Yeah. So I kind of moved in. Basically, I was already thinking about moving because I heard just a ton of people I was meeting moving to Phoenix, and just the Lord was putting Phoenix on my heart, and just constantly just people are like, Phoenix, Phoenix, Phoenix. I'm like, what's up with Phoenix? So I remember debating whether I wanted to stay home or pursue ministry like in school. And I was looking into GCU. Yeah. And so
let's go Lopes, bro.
I remember looking into GCU, and then I made a decision that I was going to move. Oh, actually, I was on his live. I was on Webb's live. And
is it a TikTok live?
TikTok
live.
Okay,
yeah.
And I don't remember what he was doing, but I was on there.
Probably like making music like 4 a.m.
Yeah, something like that. That's awesome. And I remember just like, I was on there and I was just like, yeah, so you go to Hillsong, like you're in Phoenix, right? He's like, oh yeah, I go to Hillsong College, or I'm going to Hillsong College. And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about moving out there to go to GCU. He's just like, oh, just be our roommate. And I was just like, bet, pretty much. Got off the live.
Bet, honestly.
Yeah, grabbed his number, and then we texted and finalized it. And And I remember moving still with the intention to go to GCU.
Yeah.
But like months prior, the prayers that I was praying was like, God, I want to know the Holy Spirit more.
Yeah.
And not just Old Testament classes, New Testament classes, but like, how do I apply the Holy Spirit in like ministry and do this for a living? Because this is, if I'm going to do this, I want to do it right.
Totally.
And I remember coming out here and he was like, that's what we're about. Like, that's what Hillsong College is about. We operate in the Spirit and we do Old Testament, New Testament, but we also learn like what it means to steward the Holy Spirit. And I remember like, I don't know. And so I remember going to chapel, like this guy said. I went to chapel and I remember this Holy Spirit was just so heavy in the room. And I was just like, this is where I need to be. And so, that's when I made that decision. And I just got the tuition, the first installment of tuition, like yesterday. So that's good. And yeah, God's just been sustaining us for the past 6 months. So it's been awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you guys are posted up in Gilbert. So you're way out there.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any other community here in Phoenix except for like you three? Do you guys have any family or people already out here? Or is this like a new journey for you guys with like Hillsong and meeting people?
Well, when we first came here, I mean, it was really just like we knew of like a handful of people at Hillsong College, but other than that, like we've developed a lot of relationships that I think we would consider like family now.
Yeah.
But before that, I knew maybe like 2 people.
Dang.
So
yeah, at least you guys had each other to meet.
oh yeah.
Also, so Jacob, that's moving in here in 2 weeks. So he flew out to us to kind of like hang out.
Yeah.
And he was like at the beginning of the week, he was like, I'm not moving here. There's no way. In the middle of the week, he was like, maybe let me pray about it. But by the time he left, he's like, I'm applying.
Because he went to a
Let's
chapel.
go.
Yeah.
So just like the whole week, we could just see how the Lord was like showing him,
We
like, hey,
knew it.
this is where you need to be.
We knew it the whole time.
And he just like just randomly applied and like now he's moving out here. So
Dang.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
That's cool. So wait, so how old are all of you guys?
I'm 21.
Okay.
19.
19.
I just turned 22.
Just turned 22.
And Jacob is also 19.
Crazy. Living young and traveling, man. That's cool. That's exciting. Was it hard for you guys to make that move? Or did you guys just feel like, I'm just going to trust God? Like, I'm just going to do this?
Other than like, obviously family back home, I was like, I'm just ready for a new season.
Yeah,
Same for me.
I was so ready.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I guess this kind of replaces what moving to college would be like. Because I guess
Right.
it's kind of what you're doing. But it was more abrupt in most of your guys' cases. I think you had plans of it. But then you weren't even sure about it. You were like, screw high school, I'm out. I'm not doing school again. And then you were like, GCU, which is where I went. But then out of nowhere, whole change.
Yeah.
Now, you had decided to move to Phoenix regardless for GCU. And then it became Hillsong, which is super awesome. Is Jacob also going to go to Hillsong?
Yep.
Nice. You guys going to get the same classes together and stuff?
Yeah. Basically.
Is I don't know much about Hillsong College in Phoenix. Is it a massive school or is it pretty small where like the student to teacher ratio is similar to like a private school?
No, it's not that big. I think right now, our last semester we had like 180 students.
Okay.
And we have about what would you say, 7, 8 teachers?
70 teachers.
Teachers. They call them
Trainers.
trainers, college trainers.
Gotcha.
So
very cool.
So, but it's definitely not like a massive school where like you're sitting in front of a guy that you're probably gonna have maybe 5 conversations with in the whole year.
Yeah.
Like they do life with you.
It's intimate.
So it's very intimate
That's awesome.
and authentic.
Does that make it easier to get an A in the class?
Well,
there like-
yeah, it's
Another thing.
you know, you're not really graded. It's either like you get it or you don't get it.
Which
So-
is actually an interesting thing because that's kind of like, I think what should be the move towards
Right.
education. Because if it's this like ABC scale kind of thing, then people that are getting C's think they're failing, but like C has always been average.
Yeah.
So like if you're getting a B, you're above average. But if you're not getting the A, it feels like you're not doing enough.
which is why we like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Makes it easier.
It's growing a lot. Like
It is.
every year they're getting more and more people.
Yeah.
So I feel like
That's
it's gonna,
cool.
It's gonna.
They say we
get
have
a lot
about
bigger.
50 or 60 new students in his intake. So within the next month.
Sorry, my puppy's getting under the wires and stuff. Dude, you need to chill out. Go take a chill pill. There you go. Somewhere else. There you go. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so I want to kind of break down a little bit your guys' experience after getting to a good point in TikTok where you started meeting this community, because I've seen briefly that you guys kind of formed this, I wouldn't say like alliance, but like definitely like a big group of people that you guys do like ministry with at times. Like you guys are going to events sometimes and traveling to go to these like churches to speak and stuff. Like, what has that experience been like for you guys? Did that just kind of come out of nowhere, or did like one person initiate it and then everyone's just kind of like following through with it?
Yeah. So Jacob and his girlfriend, his girlfriend Mac, who also might move here. We're praying for that. But she posted this video and was like, "Who wants to start a Christian hype house?" And I don't know if you know what the hype house. I don't know if you know what the hype house is, but it was like a group of influencers on TikTok who did like dances and stuff like that.
I think I've briefly heard of it. Yes.
Yeah. So she posted a video. It was like, "Who wants to start a Christian hype house?" And Jacob saw the video and reached out to her, and that's actually how they met.
Before they were dating?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's actually how they met. But they actually started one and called the Praise House. Jacob reached out to me.
Yeah.
And you, I think. Did Jacob reach it? Yeah. So just all of us got together, and from there, God just like started blessing it. A few months passed by, and one day we were like, what if we actually met up and like actually did ministry together? And so like we were like, there's no way. But everybody, like we actually picked a date and a place. It was in Marietta, Georgia, where Riley lived.
Okay.
So Riley lived there.
Was that nice and humid for you guys?
Oh yeah, I was used to it.
I guess
Me too, yeah.
Oh, see, I'm right here, man. I grew up in Oregon, but yeah, I was just Minnesota, and dude, he's so humid.
Yeah.
It's bad.
But yeah, so it was in Marietta. So it was supposed to be just like, hang out, get to know each other, things like that. Yeah. And which it was. We got like an Airbnb, one for the guys, one for the girls. And
it changed.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a hectic story though.
I want to hear this story.
It's okay, you want me to tell the story?
No.
No?
Let me finish what I was saying.
Okay. I'll tell the story after.
So halfway through the week, we were like, let's like post on our stories that we can host an event or something like that. So we found a venue that was free. It was in a public square or something like that. They went and rented like a bunch of equipment for like the sound and things like that.
We got like an amazing deal on it, by the way.
Really?
Like totally like God-given thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Which is part of the story of like the houses, which I can say after he's.
Yeah. So so we did the event and like 70 to 80 people showed up, and like the Holy Spirit moved. Like we shared messages, did worship, things like that. Hung out with people, just talked to them, prayed for them. And after that, we went back to the Airbnb and we were like, guys, I want to do this for the rest of my life, Yeah. And from then on out, it became a real personal thing. Like it's not just social media.
Yeah.
And
you guys have like a group chat now? It's just like the hype house or what?
Yeah.
Pretty much. But but yeah, so then churches started reaching out and we just flew out, did events, revivals, whether it was 3 days or 1 day, things like that. So God really had his hands all over it, and he was definitely among that. So
that's awesome.
Okay, so the story.
Let's hear this story.
Story with the Airbnbs. So we had one bigger house for the girls, and that was kind of like the hub of where we hung out for the week. And the guys had a smaller house, but it was kind of like in the ghetto, the guy's house. Nice. And it was like it just was not a good part of Atlanta. And we stayed in that night. I think we stayed for one night there. And the next night we were like, we came back home from the girls' Airbnb.
Yeah.
It was like late at night, and we come home and we're like standing around. Some of the guys are inside or whatever, and I was standing outside with our friend E-Man and Zach. I think Zach Waters. There was another Zach that's in our group.
Many Zachs. Man.
Yeah, there's
Can't
three
keep
of
track.
them. So we were standing outside, and this guy drives by, and was like cussing us out as he drove by.
Oof.
We were like, "What the heck was that about?" And he was like telling us to like get off the street, get out of here. And we didn't. I was like, "What was that about?" And we were like, "It's probably just some crackhead or something."
Yeah.
So later on, we figure out like I think all the guys were inside showering.
Yeah.
And we were outside just standing around, and we kept like smelling like it just smelled like weed. We were like, what the heck? Like, it's so strong right here.
Yeah.
And we had noticed when we came to the house, there was an order from like DoorDash.
Yeah.
And it was Chipotle. And on the front door, we were like, who ordered Chipotle? But nobody ordered Chipotle. So we grabbed the bag and we put it out by the trash can by the street. And that's whenever the guy drove by in the car. And he yelled at us and we were like, what the heck is that? So the guys were showering inside.
Yeah.
And they heard like a door slam from the basement, which the basement was completely locked. Like,
well,
there was
me and E-Man went to the house to like pick up something. I can't remember what we were picking up, but we heard like we were both upstairs. We heard doors slam underneath, and like it sounded like the garage door kind of.
Yeah.
So we went down there and
they called us. They were like, someone's in the house, bro.
Yeah. So then they came and then they saw the Chipotle bag. And so you can pick it up.
So we were standing outside. And at this point, we're like, someone is in our house. We're going to call the cops. And so we called the cops. The cops came and they checked out the basement. They didn't unlock it or anything, but they were like, nobody's here. Like, there's no one here. Well, later on, so after that, we were like, this is sketchy. We don't want to be here. Let's get our refund and let's just go figure it out at the girls' Airbnb.
Yeah.
So we all pack our stuff and go to the girls' Airbnb. And we put 2 and 2 together. And basically, what we think happened is the guys in the car were actually so the only reason why it smelled like weed, like very heavily, is because they were doing a drop off at that house, and someone was coming to either pick it up or someone at the house was supposed to pick up that package or whatever. And we like we looked at the receipt because we took a picture of it. We were like, whose is this? And the receipt was fake on the bag. It was for some random dude, like, wasn't even like a Chipotle order. It was just in a Chipotle bag.
That's
funny. So, and then we were thinking about this at the girl's house, and we were all like, what? How did we not know what that was?
Yeah.
We never opened it.
And
you
we
guys
never
didn't look in the bag.
No, we didn't. But we knew. Like, I just knew.
Yeah.
And we think that the guys that were like coming by and were cussing us out were actually the guys that were trying to pick it up. So we were like, oh, we could have been in the middle of something crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's weird.
And so
did they end up getting it from the trash can? Did they grab it from there?
No, we left.
You guys peaced out.
Yeah, we were like, we're not going back there.
We left our groceries too.
Literally,
Oh,
bro.
no.
Literally, we left everything there.
Had to go back to it.
It was scary for sure.
Dude, yeah. And
Crazy
so,
story.
yeah, long story short, we got our refund from that, and we used, we got I think $378 back from the Airbnb.
Yeah.
And then later on in the week, we were like, oh, we should do a pop-up, worship night or whatever.
Yeah.
And we wanted to go rent out we got a basic mixer, some microphones and cables and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the total was literally, I think, $1 under what we got refunded from the Airbnb.
Wow.
So that's how we know it's oh, that was meant to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or otherwise we wouldn't have had the money to rent out all that stuff.
That's sick.
So that was a pretty cool story.
God sent the weed bag.
Right. Right.
For sure.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Thing. Okay, so you guys get established, you guys move in together, and you guys are still currently doing TikToks, right? What is the next steps for you guys? What do you guys have any plans right now? Are you kind of just in the moment, just excited for what is next? Every day's different. What is it like for you guys right now?
We have a whole lot of plans.
Yeah.
Too many plans.
Elaborate.
Yeah, so I mean, the vision is just right now, I think just soaking in at Hillsong and just getting under discipleship and making sure that we're stewarding the influence right.
Yeah.
And I think afterwards, it's more so do we church plant, or either way, we're doing ministry.
Yeah.
For sure.
YouTube full time,
Yeah.
make Bro Disciples a kind of Dude Perfect squad type.
For those who don't know, they are the Bro Disciples.
Bro Disciples.
It is their YouTube channel. You guys should check it out.
That was weird.
Do you guys say it at the same time?
Yeah.
Is that how your intro is? Welcome to the Bro Disciples.
We don't even have an intro.
We
should
don't have
make
an intro?
It'll come.
Yeah, we'll
It'll
make
come.
one.
Yeah.
It'll come with time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that clothing. What else we got planned?
Music,
Music.
just chilling.
Yeah,
Just want to reach Gen Z
Revival.
in any way you can.
totally.
Yeah, revival.
Yeah, revival.
That's the biggest
That's the
vision.
biggest thing. Yeah.
Go and do it. We definitely want to do more events and stuff. I think it's just more getting the group back together. And once Jacob moves out here, we'll be able to plan a lot more of that stuff too.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool. Yeah. So you guys are young. I mean, you guys definitely have an influence within like younger generations. I'm very curious within the realm of TikTok, like what does ministry look like? Like, is it a lot of doing the videos, but then do you guys get a lot of like DMs or messages or comments that you guys are trying to, cause I get it too, where I put up videos and sometimes you get like a lot of messages and you're like, how many of these am I trying to start long conversations with or just give quick answers or make a video? Like, what is it like within the universe of TikTok when it comes to doing ministry?
so yes, it's very hard to respond to like DMs and everything. And, like I try my best to like go through DMs and it's for me, I think that this is just my personal take on it and everything, but you're inspiring a lot of kids to be obedient to the Lord and open up about, you know, problems in their life, and honestly exposing the darkness for what it is.
Yeah.
And so you do get a lot of DMs of people saying, hey, Zach, I'm going through this, and this. And sometimes it's really dark. And so I try not to think too hard about it and really like carry a lot of those burdens. Cause, anybody in ministry, if you're a pastor or anything, you know what that's like of like, you know, it's amazing that you're seeing all these kids open up and be obedient and they're sharing things that they never have before. But you do have to be careful of like, you know, responding and getting in the midst of some of that stuff, because you don't recognize that there's a whole another legal side of everything. So if someone like say a 12-year-old, 13-year-old girl opens up about something within their family or something, and you have a conversation with them, you are now legally tied to if something like that happens.
Yeah.
So if it's stuff like that, I usually like try not to respond to those types. I try to help out people a lot as best as I can and answer questions. And, you know, we have like topical videos where we'll go into, hey, if you're dealing with this is the course and these are the actions that you need to take. And try to give them some biblical wisdom on that type of stuff. But really, ministry and TikTok, I think for me, is just to like, my mission has always been the same, even from the beginning, because like TikTok is a very sexualized, you know, app where a lot of kids are exposed to these things that they don't realize is like corrupting their minds. And it's very like, you know, look at me type of thing and dancing and all of this stuff. And a lot of it is sexualized. And me, and part of my story with like struggling with like pornography and just seeing that type of stuff and being exposed to that at a very young age, my biggest mission whenever I started was, okay, God, if you give me an influence and you give me like a platform, I'm going to use that, and I'm going to try to get to that 12-year-old and try to, you know, plant something in his life before he sees that video of like that half naked girl or, you know, group of people on the screen. So I've always tried to keep that in mind and keep that my main focus of like, okay, as long as I'm getting to those kids before that is, then I've done my mission. And that's all I need to do is just inspire and plant something.
Totally.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel the same? Do you guys have, so I remember I saw you put up a video a few days ago that was talking about like GTA and like when your friend first shows you walking into the strip club, but then like, I don't know where the sound, I don't know how you I don't know how you guys find sounds. Like you just find the ones that like somehow pertain to the type of video you want. Or do you guys first hear the sound and then you're like, oh, I'd be cool for a video?
Yeah.
I feel like it's that way.
Yeah. You can like save it.
That makes sense.
I just use it.
Yeah, but you talked about like the struggles that come from like even just the smallest seeds that get planted young. That's
actually my story. Is in 7th grade, GTA had come out, and they obviously have like the sexual stuff and the bad stuff. I mean, it's a bad game, you know.
Yeah.
But my friend was like, dude, look at the strip club. And so we walked like in the game, like he showed me all that, and I go home and it just made me curious, like, hey, like what if I could, you know, look at this every day, you know what I'm saying? So and little did I know, from that moment it corrupted my mind for 10 years, like I don't know how long, like around 10 years.
Yeah.
And I dealt with this like on a daily basis, you know, addicted to pornography, and ended up leading me to mistreat girls and, you know, sleeping around in high school and things like that, before I found Jesus, of course.
Yeah.
And like people don't understand like how little something can grow to corrupt your life, how little, like something that the devil can use at a very young age. And I feel like that's our mission, is to like he said, stop that and let Jesus reach these kids before that does. And it's very hard in a world like today, you know. The devil is the prince of the world, and he's corrupting things like TikTok and the media and the music industry, and putting these thoughts in these kids' heads, and saying pornography is okay, it's healthy, things like that. And we're trying to just like show them like the joy that Jesus can give you is so much greater, and will be more beneficial in the long run, you know.
Totally.
So
that's awesome.
I'd say that's our vision, is just reach those kids.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast or video yesterday, and I didn't even finish it. I only got a little bit into it, but it was talking about like 7 lies that kids believe growing up. But it talks about how the older they get, the harder it is to really teach them what truth is, because they've been exposed to so many things at such a young age, to where it's less about formation, but more about reformation, because they're at a point where they've already created truths in their mind. And the older they get, the harder it is for them to wrap their brain around what it is that they're learning that's contrary to what they believe is truth. Yep. So when you grow up thinking that, oh, pornography is like fine, like everyone's doing it, and then it becomes a normal thing, you don't realize it's a struggle until, if you come to Jesus, you obviously learn conviction pretty quick with it. Yeah. But even in that, like you hide the sin and it grows inside, and you don't have that community to like talk to or to reach out, and you feel embarrassed because you're like, I feel like I'm a fake Christian, or I feel like I'm not living for Jesus, and I feel like I'm a fraud, and all those kind of things.
That's another thing, is like we're trying to be vulnerable about it, like open about it, because like, hey, we've been there, and like we understand, and we're here to talk to you about that, and you can open up to us. Yeah. You know, and I feel like that is something that is a problem, is like pornography thrives in secrecy. Yeah. And people like don't want to open up about it. And there's so much power when you expose it, you know?
Yeah. Have you guys heard of Fight the New Drug? Okay. Yeah.
I haven't.
It's, I think they also go by like one of their biggest slogans is porn kills love. Yeah. So it's a nonprofit, non-religious organization that was founded to basically like combat pornography, and not even, they talk about like the health benefits. So they talk, or not benefits, but like the implications of what happens like over time with your mind, and what starts to happen, and like objectification for women, and how it affects your relationships, and how it can turn to abuse. But it also talks about like the heart, but then it also talks about specifically like the trafficking side of things. How like the morality side is like, you have no idea that they put makeup over the needle spots on these women that are in these videos, because like they're getting drugged before it, because they have no choice. They get forced into the industry. And if they can get out of it, like they're too afraid to come out and talk about it, or they're way too ashamed, because they've literally been abused sexually for years and years. It's insane, man.
It is.
When I first discovered that organization, like it was super awesome. I bought one of their shirts and like took pictures with it and stuff. I was like, this is such a cool movement. Like people need to hear this, because it's so very true. I'd love to for sure like do another podcast with you guys on pornography, because
absolutely,
that's super huge right now. It's a big hot topic. Steve-O, are you within that realm? Is that something that you feel super passionate about, or do you feel like you have another message that you bring to your audience when it comes to preaching Jesus? Like, what's your testimony a little bit?
That's something that we all have gone through. So it's something that we're all passionate about. And I think moving out here even has been a big realization and epiphany about like how common it is and how taboo it's become even in the church, how nobody really talks about it. So that's why we are so passionate about being authentic about it and just saying, hey, like there is freedom in Jesus, because people really are just in bondage and they're so ashamed because it's not talked about enough that they never get free. So it's kind of swept under the rug, and people don't really like encounter Jesus in a way that they could if they were set free from that bondage. So like that's something that we're super big on, and just that's a big thing for us, just seeing Jesus rightly and showing people how to see Jesus rightly. And that when you see Jesus rightly, he changes your heart. So it's not about like doing things so that you can earn freedom, or it's not doing things so you can find Jesus. It's encountering Jesus so that he can set you free from the things that you're dealing with. So that's a big thing about what we want to bring. So
that's awesome. So real quick to dive into that, just so I can to pick your guys' brains a bit. When you guys kind of hit that realization of this needs to end, what was it for you guys that got you out of it? Did you guys have the community support around you? Were you guys just at a rock bottom? Like, I'm going to Google, how do I get off of this stuff? Like, what did it take for you guys? Because I'm sure that there's probably people listening to this that are struggling with that still. What message can you guys bring to them about overcoming something like that?
Yeah. So, when I rededicated my life to Jesus, it wasn't easy. Like, if anything, my life got harder.
Yeah.
Like I was still sinning and trying to break away, but I felt like I kept running back, and then would feel the guilt and the shame, and but the more I realized is like the closer you push yourself towards Jesus, the farther away you get from sin, and the less desire of it, you know. And so I just really like focused on who Jesus is, and like that he is a redeemer and he will set you free. And just my desire for that sin just lessened, and like I just like I found it, you know, like ew. Like why would I do that? Like it breaks my, you know, like it started to break my heart, like to even think about that sin, because it breaks Jesus's heart. And the more you know Jesus, the more you understand how he feels when you sin against him, you know? So I feel like it's all about like a pursuit towards Jesus, and taking those steps, like, you know, finding the community, the people who can help you, and staying in your word daily, staying in prayer daily, and you know, like even the little things, leaving your phone in the room when you take a shower, and maybe throwing your phone across the room when you go to sleep, you know, little things like that. And it all starts with finding someone who can hold you accountable, though, and pursuing Jesus.
I think what really helped for me is like kind of what Steve was saying is I talked about it more. The first time that I opened up about it, I had gotten caught by my parents a few times, and so I think it became real to me that and became a conviction whenever my dad sat me down in like the living room and like had that conversation with me. And me not knowing, like I was not prepared for that conversation, and he just said, "Look, son, like I love you, and I'm not ashamed of you. Like I don't hate you for what you did, and don't feel like I don't love you, because I do." And I was just like so overwhelmed with conviction. But I think more so is because I realized that like it wasn't my dad talking to me, you know what I mean? Like my dad was a vessel in that conversation, and I realized like God was in pursuit for my heart, and my heart had been abandoned and had been stolen, you know. And that became really real because I realized that, and like I knew that God was like in pursuit of my heart again, and like was trying to take me back. And so that's when it became real to me. But I feel like pornography was not something that I just like was freed from like right off the bat. It took me a long time, and it came with a lot of conversations and a lot of opening up and a lot of vulnerability. And that's I think more of my side of things is in the same way, the more I opened up about it, the more it lost its grip on my life. And whenever I found accountability and a space with a few guys where I could just talk about it and be real and not feel ashamed, but also like, hey guys, I really want to change and I really want this to like leave my life. Yeah. Hold me accountable to it. And like they were close enough to me to know, like, even because I was doing ministry for a few years then at that point. So I knew how to say the right words. And this, I kind of feel this on my heart of like, I should say this. I don't know whoever's watching this, if you're like a teenager and you've been going to church, like you know what to say to make it look like you aren't struggling. And I was at that point in my walk with Jesus where I knew what to say to make it seem like I wasn't struggling with pornography. And
that's so freaking true, dude.
Eventually my closest friends and my mentors were like, I don't buy that. You need to open up. And so that's whenever I started to take leadership in that, and took it like personally as a personal conviction where my view of it changed completely. And it was no longer like, I guess, I've been having a lot of like conversations lately about righteous conviction, and my view of the way, I don't want to say of pornography changed, but like my conviction for it changed. Yeah. And it was no longer like whenever I would stumble, it was no longer, God, forgive me. Like I'm a fool. I'm an idiot. Like I'm disgusting. It became more of, and you guys have heard me say this before, but it became more of whenever I would stumble and I would feel myself, I'd feel that guilt. It was like, no, you know what? That's not who I am. Like, that's not who I am anymore. That's not from God. That's not his character. So I don't want anything to do with that because that's not who I am. Yeah. In those moments, like Satan will do all that he can to try to tell you that you are a failure and you are disgusting and you ruined it all. And you've taken 10 steps back and you've fallen away from God completely in that moment. But, God will never say that to you. He's like, no, like we're right where we left off. Yeah. Pick your head up. That's not who you are anymore. You're freed from that. So even if that is, burdening you right now, it's not who you are. Yeah. And so that's whenever it changed, whenever I found that flip and that mindset of like, no, that's not who I am. And I developed this righteous conviction where it was more of just like, no, because of Jesus, like I'm no longer underneath that anymore. And that's whenever it completely changed for me. And whenever I started opening up more to kids and started taking initiative in rooms that maybe aren't so vulnerable. Yeah. And we were in rooms of like, whether it was discipleship groups or life groups or something, being the first person to say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I went through. I'm set free from it though. And you really can too here in this atmosphere. And all it takes is just vulnerability. And one sentence will loosen the grip. And the more you talk about it, it'll go away.
Totally. Yeah, Steve-O, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think something that we talk about a lot is like the repercussions that come with it, even like through the years of just like unraveling, discovering that we lost confidence dealing with that over the years, or even like relationships with sisters in Christ. Like, can I hug this person without it being sexual? Like just your whole view of women is distorted when you go through years of dealing with pornography. But I think what Zach said too is big, is just like seeing more of Jesus and seeing him rightly. I heard a quote that said, when you see Jesus, he will change your want to. So like you can do what you want to, but when you encounter Jesus, your want to will change. Yeah. And so like just encountering Jesus, it's like my flesh will want to give in, but my spirit is just like, my convictions will say, no, we've come too far. Right. Like even to this day, it's like, no, don't give in. Go talk to one of the guys. Like, you've come too far. You've already been set free. You're the righteousness of God, like all these things. So I think just having people that can hold you accountable and also creating an atmosphere of truth and just being real with yourself, like If you can't leave the door closed in your room, then don't. If you can't bring your phone to the bathroom with you, then don't. If you want to have friends that are going to hold you accountable, go find them. Like, those resources are out there. If you want to reach out to us, we're here. So it's like, I think that's the biggest thing that changed my life, was just seeing Jesus rightly. Yeah. I think I got to a point of just like, enough is enough. And I think I started fasting and praying. And during that week, I remember just seeing Jesus in a whole new way. And I remember just being in my room weeping and being on my knees, like crying. And I'm sure these guys have had a lot of moments like that too, of just, Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm tired of going through this. And he will literally begin to change your heart and renew your mind, as scripture says. Like, that stuff is so true. God is a man of his word. He doesn't lie. You can hold him to his promise. You say, God, this is what your word says. I'm believing you for it. And he will keep his word. So I think that's something that we've grown to know, is that he's faithful and he keeps his promises. That's good. So yeah.
One thing I want to add is like, one thing, like when my prayers started changing from, God, don't let me watch porn today, it changed to, God, how can I walk in your freedom today? Yeah. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Positive mindset versus negative.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So in high school, so one of the churches here in the Valley that I went to is Christ Church of the Valley. It's a pretty big church, and we would go to CIY. Have you guys heard of CIY before? Maybe not. Maybe it's just a West Coast thing. It's just a super big organization that does church camps and stuff. But I had a mentor through high school who was probably the biggest blessing I've ever had in my life. And if anyone can find someone like him, like, I highly recommend. But we had a night where I don't know how it became what it was. We basically were just a group of guys. There was like 50 in our group for like our high school area. So we had a really big community. So we went to this church camp, and, you know, first couple nights are just like super fun, hype, hanging out, like, let's talk Jesus, break it down. But then by like the third or fourth night, it's when it starts to get deep, because they really want to convict you to be like, you need to change how you're living. And so I think it was the third night of the week, we had worship. It was super intense and it was super awesome. And then we head up to the top of a parking garage, because this is at Biola University. So this is over in San Diego. I think San Diego. No, it's near LA. Sorry. But we hop up on top of this parking garage, and one of the guys that's one of our coaches, one of my mentors, walks up and just puts a chair. We're all sitting on the ground, and he just goes and he just puts a chair down, and he's like, if anyone wants to sit down and confess their sins, go ahead. And we were all like, oh, wow. I kind of eyeing people just like, yo, who's going to go first? Like, you going to go? Like, but no one's saying anything. It's just silent. And you're just like in this weird, like 5 minutes, just no one is going up. And one guy decides to go up and just starts talking about everything, from how he struggled even with like abuse from his father, to pornography, to sleeping with his girlfriend, all of these things. And because he went up the rest of the night, every single guy went up to the chair and just was unashamed, like vulnerable, just sharing everything that they've been going through. And dude, it was so powerful. But every single guy got to get off their chest what they were talking about. And what I still remember to this day is one kid went up and he's like, yeah, I'm addicted to pornography. And my mentor just cut him off. He's like, nope. And he was like, what? And he's like, you're not addicted to pornography. You are battling your addiction to pornography. Do not give it possession over your life. Yeah. Because the mindset is like, you feel as if you're in those chains and that you can't get out of it. And so you're fighting this battle as if, you know, like you're trapped in it. But even just switching that mindset to believing like, I'm fighting against this is a head-on battle that just sets you up for a mindset that is what God wants you to do. He doesn't want you to feel stuck. He doesn't want you to feel like you're immovable. Like he has given you the tools and everything that you need to fight against this thing. You just need to change your mindset, because you keep feeling defeated. I don't want you to feel defeated, because I already went to the cross for that. And so still to this day, it just gives me chills to think about that, because that's the message I think that guys need to hear these days. Because one of the things that we think is, I need to stop watching pornography, that it's just like, it's got to be done that day. And if you stop today, you're like, all right, I'm doing pretty good. I didn't watch today. And then you're like, maybe tomorrow, I'm not going to watch tomorrow. You get a couple days in, and then you face temptation and you fall. And then for most guys, they're just like, I can't get over it. I just keep falling into the same cycle over and over again. But I read a book. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called Every Young Man's Battle. You guys should check it out. It's one of the best books to read for guys dealing with pornography. But it talks about just like something that I needed to hear for so long was that like, it is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. Right. Like, you wonder why, like, you've been addicted to this for the last 8 years and you want it to be gone in 8 days. That is so unrealistic. Right. Yeah. You've been addicted to something that has changed the way that your brain functions and sees everything and filters things for the last 8 years. And you want it to be gone in 8 days? And then it's just like, it's never going to happen again. Like, it's really unrealistic. So when you think practically of like, it is a journey, it is a battle, and you're gonna fall at times, but the strongest person is not the one who never fell, it's the one who falls and gets back up, right? And so to have that mindset and to realize that like, it is a journey, but you have to start it is like the best way, I think, for someone to like initiate the journey of being free of something that you feel you've been in bondage in for so long.
So good. Yeah.
So yeah, I love that. But guys, this has been a super productive and super awesome conversation. I'm sure we could literally talk for hours about this, but obviously my dog is, what are you chewing on? Is that a wire? Oh. Dude.
Oh no.
What did this come from? Maybe this is why my internet's out. I actually have no idea how we got this. I will figure that out later. But guys, for anyone that's listening to this, like Ask Us Why obviously has been super passionate about being able to pour into you guys and give you guys resources and ways that you can grow in your faith. But we don't want to limit you just to Ask Us Why, because your boy Remy can't create content at the scale of what other people do all the freaking time. And these guys are ballers at it. So we want you guys not only to be a part of Ask Us Why, but we want you guys to be following people that can continue to help you grow in your faith as well, especially on platforms like TikTok, where you can be influenced by other people and the algorithms will occasionally throw something else in there, like just to see what you'll do and if you'll respond to it. And then you do it once and it happens 4 times and then all of a sudden you're back into it. And so how can you guys like get people connected to you guys, and what do you do? Like, what are your guys' handles? How can people find you and stay involved with what you guys are doing?
So our collective channel on YouTube is Brocyples.
Brocyples.
So just bro and then
Cyples.
Cyples.
SCIP.
So you can check us out on YouTube, and we do a lot of like Q&A. But my tag for everything is just Zach Webb Music. So ZACHWEBB.
Are you music. On Spotify?
Yeah. So that's on every platform.
Let's go.
Same. Zach Webb. No. My Instagram is Zach Brymo. That's just like my life, and I try to answer DMs sometimes. And my TikTok is Zach Moore B. So I have 2 different handles because my TikTok username is taken on Instagram, sadly. But that's where you can find me.
Yeah. So my handles are SteveOTV, 2 O's. Make it simple. You can find us on Brocyples. A lot of content coming soon. Real talks just like this, vlogs, whole lot of content coming. Jacob's moving in soon. You can expect Jacob on the channel. So
go on the team.
Yeah.
It's gonna be sick.
A lot of exciting things.
Let's go. Sweet. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and putting up with my dog. I don't know why he's been so crazy. He usually sleeps. He's just in his teenage years, so he's getting kind of crazy. He's growing balls, so he's finally getting that extra energy.
There you go.
But yeah, all right. Well, if you guys made it to the end of this podcast, thank you so much. Do not forget to share this if you are one of those types of people to just kind of share content and bring it to other people. And outside of that, we just encourage you guys to stay connected with these guys and just take to heart some of the things that they talked about tonight. But with that being said, do not forget to like and subscribe, or you can follow us on Spotify as well with our podcast, or check us out on Ask Us Why. Let's just keep things going, man. Let's grow the kingdom together. We're going to peace out of here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back.
Yeah. All right.